Hello, dear viewers. I recommend you turn off the lights and put on your headphones. You are watching Tales from the Crypt. Enjoy the show. Night. Not a soul in sight. Who would have thought this phrase would soon be taken literally? A regular guy named Artyom was starting his night shift at a rather large parking lot of a local shopping center. Stepping out for a smoke, he received a signal on his radio from his colleague who was heading off to sleep, letting him know he'd be out of reach. The colleague was inside the shopping center itself. That's how our security works here. Overall, it's a decent job, easy money. After smoking his cigarette and drinking a bit of vodka, Artyom walked down the steps and entered the parking lot. As they say, the first 40 years of a man's life are the hardest. We all act like kids at times. With no one around, he could dance and fool around. It's boring being alone. Having another security guard would make it more fun. Someone to talk to, maybe take a nap while the other works. But no, Artyom was alone, terribly sleepy. He patrolled the parking lot, though his mind was far from work. The schedule was decent, 24 hours on, 72 off. The pay was low, but considering you could do nothing all night, just pretend to work a few times, it was manageable. Suddenly, a noise. A knock. It sounded like someone hit a car. But wait, I'm alone here. What the hell? Artyom thought. He looked around. It got a bit eerie. Who knows what it could be? The sound seemed to come from the lower level. Artyom turned on his flashlight and headed there. He felt uneasy, tension building for some unknown reason. This had never happened before during his time here. It was always dead silent at night. But now, strange sounds like someone hitting a car. That's the last thing I need, Artyom thought, since he was responsible for all the cars. God forbid something happened to one of them. On the lower level, the lights were on. There weren't many cars, probably less than 10. Another knock, closer this time. A red car standing to Artyom's right. The sound came from it, definitely from it. From the trunk, it seemed. Maybe someone is inside. Artyom cautiously approached the red car, flashlight in hand. He tried to peer inside. Curiosity is a tricky thing, not always leading to something good, especially in this case. In the flashlight's beam, he saw chains, cans, or maybe just empty jars. It was hard to tell. A toolbox or something like that, a crowbar. On the front seat, wrapped in a hoodie, was a chainsaw, its blade sticking out, red as if covered in blood or red paint. Artyom's anxiety grew. This looked like some maniac's car. Then another knock. This time it was clear it came from the trunk. Artyom put away his flashlight, circled the car, and approached the trunk. Curiosity is dangerous, as they say. He pressed his ear to the trunk and tapped it lightly. He immediately heard a response, a knock from inside, much louder. Someone is definitely in there. I need to get them out. Maybe some gangster stuffed someone in the trunk. Either way, I need to open it and get them out. Someone needs help. Sergey, come in, there's someone in the trunk. But there was no response. He's probably sleeping, the idiot, Artyom thought. Calm down, don't panic, I'm going to open it now. The trunk lid bent from the inside knocks. Someone was desperately trying to make themselves known. Artyom smashed the driver's side window with his flashlight, took the crowbar he had seen earlier, and began prying the trunk open. Hang on, almost there. Artyom started kicking the trunk. The car alarm blared throughout the parking lot, probably echoing outside too, but the lock wouldn't budge. Suddenly, a strange guy with a gun approached Artyom from behind. Turn around. Artyom was startled. Raise your hands and shut up. Drop the crowbar. All right, Artyom said with a trembling voice. Step away from the car. The guard slowly backed off, hands raised, shaking with fear. Lie down. Calm down. Do you have a weapon? The guy asked loudly. No, Artyom began but was cut off. Give me your weapon. I don't have a weapon. I'm just a security guard. Suddenly, there was a loud rustling from the other side of the parking lot, making both of them tense up. What is it? What's happening? Artyom asked, lying on the ground with a trembling voice. The guy, let's call him Bandit, ordered Artyom not to move and grabbed a canister he had brought with him. Let me go, I'm just a guard, Artyom mumbled, lying on the cold floor. It's not what you think, the bandit said, opening the car door and taking out a bottle of water. No point in explaining, you'll think I'm crazy anyway. He wrapped his hand with some cloth or bandage, muttering to himself. Every man for himself now. You'll find out soon enough. Artyom noticed a shovel lying a meter away, which the bandit had brought. After wrapping his hand and putting his belongings in the car, the bandit turned, and the last thing he saw was the shovel swinging at his head. Artyom knocked the bandit out, tied him up, and started searching for the car keys to release the person in the trunk. He thought it was some maniac with a girl or woman locked in the trunk. How wrong he was. "Where are the keys?" Artyom yelled. "Where are the damn keys?" "Don't open the trunk, please," the bandit mumbled. "Who's in there?" "My daughter," the bandit said. Artyom was stunned. "What? My daughter?" This guy is insane, Artyom thought, taping the bandit's mouth shut, hearing yet another plea not to open the trunk. "Shut up or I'll kill you right here." Finding the keys, Artyom went to open the trunk. The bandit groaned desperately, trying to signal not to do it. But who would listen to him, a psycho carrying his daughter in a trunk? Turning the key, the trunk lid sprang open, and someone inside forcefully pushed it, hitting Artyom in the face, knocking him to the ground. What emerged shocked him. In tattered old clothes covered in blood, it stood on the bumper, then stepped onto the floor. It was a girl. No, not a human anymore. Disheveled hair, blood all over, eyes black as the devil's. It crawled out of the trunk and stared at Artyom. Instead of a mouth, there was a bloody mess, with teeth visible. It started moving toward Artyom. Shocked, he lay still, awaiting the inevitable. The bandit's groans distracted the creature. It turned and started eating him. "What the hell is that?" Artyom muttered. He ran as fast as he could. The creature stood hunched over, gnawing at the bandit's neck, his screams echoing through the parking lot, probably audible on every level. Artyom ran upstairs. Quickly, fearfully glancing back, he reached the exit door and searched for the right key. Suddenly, another similar creature pressed against the glass of the door. Artyom jumped back. The fear was overwhelming. And guess who it was? His colleague, Sergei. What the hell is happening here? Artyom ran again. Reaching the parking lot gate, he froze. It was slightly raised, and he saw more of these creatures trying to crawl in. Panic gripped him. What the hell is going on? Holding his head, tears welled in his eyes, tears of fear and despair. Artyom ran again. The creatures were trying to crawl in under the gate, clearly visible. The gun. That guy had a gun. Artyom returned to the level where he first saw the creature. The bandit lay in a pool of blood. Artyom took the gun and immediately heard footsteps behind him. It was the same creature that crawled out of the trunk. Artyom turned and shakily aimed the gun at it. It quickened its pace, then started running. Artyom waited. A shot rang out, but nothing happened. The creature got closer. He tried to shoot again, realizing there were no bullets. He jumped into the trunk, closing it just in time, right in front of the creature's face, if you could call it that. Lying in the trunk, he heard the driver's door open and the engine start after a few minutes. He screamed to be let out, thinking it was a person. But no one responded. The driver was the bandit, who had started turning into God knows what. The car drove to the center of the parking lot, then reversed at full speed.